Hello, Unbreakable Souls. It is Friday, October 11th, and I've got a message for you. So, my message today is you got to let it marinate. And that basically means, life is going to throw some things at you to where you feel like it's so difficult, so hard to get through, just irredeemable. Just can't be fixed, and you feel like it's easier. I won't say easier, just the best thing to do is to give up on that situation and start over. But God is saying that's not the case for every situation. Sometimes you do have to sit and let it marinate. Give yourself some time to really use your creative mind and ask for guidance from God or from the universe or from your ancestors, and see what solutions they provide to you. If you sit in silence, say you're going through something, what you want to do is first of all remove yourself from the environment, and if it's just not something specifically in an environment, but more so just in your life, right? Something not so physical to where you can actually step out of the environment. But if that's the case, you do want to find a quiet spot. It could be early in the morning. I like to take morning walks around like early in the morning, and that's before I get on my phone. That's before I check any emails. That's before I respond to anything for work. And my mind is usually clear. And if it was something that I went to that I feel that I went to bed worried about, or I feel like is just going on, it's an ongoing thing in my life. It's an issue. I feel it's an issue, and it's something I feel like an end. But if there's something deep inside of me that's saying, but I don't want it to end. Is there anything else that I can do to make this situation work? Because yeah, this is an issue, but there's so many other great things about whatever it is. Only you know what it is for you. And if you do that, if you sit and you sit in silence and you ask for guidance, the solutions will come, the alternate solutions. And I have my notes down here, so if I'm looking down in lack of eye contact, I do apologize. But also in those situations, it could be that the situation is actually you're supposed to be in that situation. You're supposed to be involved in whatever it is you're involved in. And in order to elevate within your situation, or in order to improve, or in order to just continue to grow your situation positively, God will throw lessons in there. God will throw things in your path, right? He will throw trials and tribulations in there. He will throw adversity in there. And it's not, and most of the case, it's not for the weak, right? And that is sometimes that's the lesson, right? Especially when you're manifesting, especially when you're asking for a bigger life than you have now. God will throw things in there to test your strength, to test your faith, to test your connection that you have with the source, the universe, God, the person, or the not person, but the entity that you're praying or manifesting to, or asking for this abundance from, whoever that is for you. They're gonna throw things at you to see if you're built for what you're asking for. So sometimes the end game, or the outcome of a situation is not always to end it, but to improve it. Sometimes situations don't need to be eliminated, but elevated. again, not everything needs to be removed. Some things just need to be refined. So when you go through trials, you want to sit, let it marinate. And if God gives you solutions in that moment of silence, in that moment of reflection, then you need to use those solutions. Don't make decisions based off of emotions. Because no matter how angry, sad, or emotional you are in an environment or in a situation, there is always something deep down inside of you that's telling you, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't say that. And you might ignore it because you're so angry or you're so emotional. But God's saying to really listen to that voice. Don't listen to anything else outside of that voice. Don't listen to that friend, that yes man, yeah, go ahead. I would do that too, or I would do this, or I would do that. No. You shouldn't be asking for any guidance from anyone but God. He's gonna guide you to where you need to be. And if in that situation God decides, you know what, this is not the situation from you, he's not going to make you lift a finger. You're not going to have to do anything in that regard. Now, the solutions, okay, he may say, okay, say this, suggest this, make this change. But if he feels like the situation needs to be deaded and ended, that confusion, that thought of, but I want it to work. That's not even going to be in your mind. It's going to really end quite rapidly. And it's not going to be in a situation that you expect it to end, to where it's usually those individuals are exposed and they expose themselves, which doesn't really take you into, it might hurt you to find out that individuals aren't who you thought they were, or the situation isn't what you thought it was. Like, that might hurt, but you're not going to be so emotionally affected to where you feel you have to do something to remove them from your life. If that makes any sense to you all. God is going to handle those people. Leave it up to him. And I promise you, it'll be handled. It kind of reminds me of like the message, kind of when I was writing down this message, I thought of like a old piece of furniture. And this is just kind of like figuratively speaking. If someone has an old piece of furniture, has a few nicks on it, maybe some chipped paint, there's some people who just toss that out. And then there are some people who, they may see the paint chip, they may see like a few nicks in the wood or whatever, but they also see the quality of the structure of that piece of furniture. They see that it's not an old piece of furniture. They see that is an antique. And they do a little sanding on it, repaint. And sometimes it's better than what it was originally, than the original version of that. So don't let anyone take you so far out of your square, off your square, to where you're giving up antiques, the blessings that God has given you. And just because you felt something was difficult or harder than what you wanted it to be at that time, that doesn't mean that you give it up, because anything that you have in your life is a blessing from God. And we don't throw God's gifts away. So don't let nobody have your antique. Don't jump the gun. Move with intention. Analyze the situation. And in that moment, ask for guidance and you'll receive it. Some relationships and some situations are worth the work. They are worth the fight. And anyone that tells you differently, anyone that tells you, anytime somebody do something wrong to me, I'm letting them go. Or anytime something happen or it's difficult or it's not the way I want it, I just let it go and move on to the next. Pay attention to those people and see how many lasting relationships or situations they've been in. Just do that. Because we shouldn't be taking advice from nobody that's not in a position that we want to be in anyways, that doesn't have success in the areas that we're looking to be successful in anyway. So that's a no for me anyway. Be mentally, physically, and emotionally and spiritually strong. Be unbreakable. And that's my message today. You gotta let it marinate. You don't have to jump so quickly to end situations. You gotta let it all work out. And it will always work out the way it's supposed to work out. So I provide this message with love and peace, and it is directly from my heart. And again, remain unbreakable. And until next time, bye.